Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Average Movie Review podcast. Ooh, that was a mouthful for some reason. Um, I watched Devil Wears Prada 2, and I have to say, this is one of the best legacy sequels out there. I didn't believe it when I read the reviews and when I heard about it, but I have to admit, it is actually one of the best legacy sequels out there. Um, Fortunately for me, I did rewatch Devil Wears Prada right before watching The Devil Wears Prada 2, and I think I appreciated it more. One thing I'll say about this movie is that un- it's very hard for a movie to come back after 26 years, or sorry, 20 years, and to make a sequel for a film that's 20 years old. It is very hard for legacy sequels to happen, especially because I think a lot of those sequels rely on the cast to kind of uh, take it upon their shoulders to push the movie, whereas the story falls flat. But in this case, the story doesn't fall flat. This story is modernized. It is more realistic. It it shows the growth of the characters. They're not the same people we saw 20 years ago. They have moved on, they have grown, they have adapted to society, to what is right now, and I think they do it beautifully. Listen, you have Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, and of course the talented Meryl Streep. You are not, you are not fucking this up. You understand what I mean? Like, you cannot. These actresses actually are absolutely phenomenal in their field. They are some of the top tier actresses, and they show it in this movie. Um, One of the things that I really loved about this film was the fact that they show Miranda aging, in the sense that she is not who she used to be 20 years ago. She had to adapt to the HR rules, to what she can say, how she can act, how like she used to throw her jacket on the table, now she has to put it away herself. She realizes that she has to grow with this. And then that fear of losing everything that she built, you know, it was, I think, one of the first times the character Miranda realizes that she may lose, right? Whereas Anne's character, Andy, has grown, right? She still has her hurdles, but she's still growing as a person, and she's adapting a lot better, I would say. And she didn't give up her morals or anything to be where she was. And she was okay with that, as her character was in the first film. Lots of callbacks to the first film. Every callback works beautifully. Every single one of them. Emily Blunt's character, I think, gets kind of sidelined in this film a little bit. And I also feel like it gets sidelined, now that I think about it, in the first film too. She is not as prominent in both films, but however, she does her role justice. She commands the screen whenever she's on it. In this film, though, I think she does get a little bit more screen time. She does get to play the villain for a little bit, and it works. It's beautiful, right? It's elegant. It actually makes sense. And I think that's why this film is doing so well. Even after 20 years, people are still going to go watch this film. I think I chuckled a lot in this film. I laughed, but I also chuckled, and I also felt emotions in that sense, where I'm watching this film and I'm like, I can see these characters growing. Like, I understand their pain. I see where they are coming from. And I think that's what they do beautifully. And another thing that I loved about this film, absolutely adored, was that it was shot just like a film in the 2000s. People might disagree with me, but it actually was shot just like a 2000 film, and it just works. Like the color gradient, the way the direction was, like some of the scenes, the montages, everything. It was shot just like a 2000 film. And I think that's what we need. In all honesty, nowadays everybody's trying to make the most modernized film, where, let's get this shot, let's get that shot, or let's do a panoramic, or let's do sometimes the answer lies in the simplicity of things. And I think this movie does that so well. So great job to the direction team. Great job to the director for creating that, or recreating that vibe again. And again, that's a hard thing to do because you can always recreate something, but that doesn't mean it's going to land. But in this case, it does land. And again, I think phenomenal movie. I'm gonna give it a solid. Like, I'm actually just gonna give it a 10 out of 10. To be quite honest, it's a legacy sequel. It works beautifully. I personally, I might be a little bit biased. I'm a huge Anne Hathaway fan. I loved her in it. I thought she was absolutely stunning and beautiful, and everything about it was just amazing. Her character, her growth, and the way that she stayed true to herself. She didn't change as the character. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she didn't change herself. She's still Andy Sachs. Miranda is still Miranda. However, she had to tone it down and kind of come back to the ground. But yet she still maintained herself in that sense. Stanley Tucci's character, Nigel, still himself, still doing all of the hard work, heavy lifting, and everything, and just playing his character to the T. And of course, Emily Blunt playing her character, Emily, beautifully. So I think overall this is a fun film. If you are a huge fan of any of these actresses, and actor, you will love this film. If you are a huge fan of Devil Wears Prada 1, you will love this film. If you are Michael Scott, you will love this film. But yeah, I think you should definitely go watch it. It's definitely worth a watch in theaters. And I think this is well, what is the word I'm looking for here? Uh, this is the blueprint. This is the blueprint that other films, if they plan on bringing it back after a certain amount of years, needs to follow a story that is relevant, a story that makes sense, and a story that adapts to what is happening right now. Not what was happening 20 years ago, but what is happening right now, and showing the characters grow and adapting to the times. Beautifully done. Absolutely amazing film. Please go watch it. I think you will enjoy it thoroughly. Please let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a wonderful day, guys.